This is a subject I've been wanting to make a video about for quite a while because it's been on my mind for some time. Specifically, this irrational idea that I need to be constantly improving or growing in specific areas of my life. And I'm sure that I'm not alone here. Being led to believe this for the longest time has resulted in burnout and prioritizing money over time and happiness. This video is a little different than the things I usually talk about, but I would still venture to argue it's very much in line with minimalism and essentialism. Today I'm going to talk about some of the things I do to embrace simple living and how they've affected my everyday life. But first, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about minimalism, frugal living, tech, and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you and you end up liking the video, be sure to like and please summon the three-headed blue eyes white dragon on the subscribe button. Let's get started. Embracing contentment. One of the reasons I pursued minimalism in the first place years ago was to own less items, but also be content with the items I already had. Learning to appreciate what I already had and embracing simplicity helped me to do this. There's really nothing wrong with wanting more and wanting better for yourself, but once it got completely in the way with me being happy, being stagnant for a little while, I knew it was a problem. I know this isn't really news, but it is incredibly true that comparison really is the thief of joy. From my experience, contentment thrives when we focus on our own unique journeys rather than measuring up to others' achievements. Being okay being alone, being okay being bored, and being okay not being busy or not having any plans all came from me just learning how to be content. Break the productivity cycle. It's okay to step back and avoid the pressure of constant self-improvement. I'm aware I've made videos and talked about things I specifically do to stay more productive, but make no mistake, I'm far from a naturally productive person. And lately I've begun to embrace that. I don't think it's possible to just be productive 100% of the time, and I don't want to be. Something I've learned about myself is that most of my creative inspiration comes to me when I'm not looking for it or when I'm doing something completely unrelated, which leads me to believe the further I am from feeling burnt out or the more relaxed I am, the more inspired or creative I actually end up feeling. I think the main takeaway from this one is that breaking the cycle of productivity made me realize I'm completely happy with doing nothing quite often. And I end up getting the same amount of work done now without the guilt when I'm laying around not doing anything at all. Be okay with imperfection. For me, this means a few things, but in the context of this video, being okay with imperfection quite literally means not being ashamed of making mistakes, or for a more personal example, dropping out of college 2 or 3 times. Attempting to do everything perfectly or hide some sort of mistakes I've made, or things I was embarrassed of, just became very exhausting. Sort of off topic, but at the same time, not really. I used to try to keep the things that I own in perfect condition. I would be overly careful with the things that I owned and used every single day. And it really took some effort for me to just accept that there's gonna be wear and tear or imperfections in the things I use often. I believe that the same idea absolutely applies to living a simple life and the facade of needing to constantly improve. Letting go of the need to execute everything perfectly, maintaining everything the best that I can, and learning to embrace imperfection has definitely been a lesson I'll never forget. Balancing ambition and well-being. I think oftentimes in the past, my desire to achieve something has definitely gotten in the way of me just taking care of myself. Even if it was something as simple as ignoring my body's natural cues to go to sleep, just to get some more work done. A really underrated quality is just knowing when to rest. It's important to recognize when to take breaks and rest and understand that continuous effort without adequate rest can negatively impact both ambition and overall well-being. Besides resting and doing things to avoid burnout, another way I balance ambition and well-being is simply by having smaller, shorter-term goals. I always stress the importance of doing this with money, but it's so effective when it comes to things like time management and just things I want to accomplish. Setting smaller, more easily achievable goals helps me prioritize my well-being over everything else. Stop comparing. One of the fastest ways I was able to feel terrible about myself or make me feel like I should be in some different, better position in life was when I would compare myself to others around my age. Getting rid of social media years ago was a good step to avoid this, but it's really hard to just ignore completely. As cliche as it sounds, the truth is we're all on our own unique journeys in life. Success-wise, financially, and even things with getting married and starting a family. I've always had this habit of comparing myself to the most successful person who's around my age and just feel like I missed out on something. And that would be someone like Justin Bieber, a pretty high bar to set. And Justin Bieber's only a few months older than me, so I should probably have a few $100 million by now. It's ironic because the older I get, the younger 30, 40, and even 50 years old seems to me. Because I really don't think it's too late to make some sort of change at any age. When it comes to living more content and not making comparisons, the main point is just to keep the focus on myself and what I'm trying to do. Celebrating small victories. Again, this is something that I usually talk about when I'm referring to finances and more tangible goals like that. I've been trying to be better at acknowledging and appreciating all achievements, even if they seem average by societal standards. In the past, it was so often that I would achieve something and not even enjoy it. Because once again, I was probably comparing myself to someone who's accomplished more in a similar area. If I never learned to celebrate small milestones and enjoy the process of whatever I'm pursuing, I'd be much more miserable along the way. Whether it was just taking a moment to appreciate some sort of debt that was paid off, or overcoming the irrational fear of flying that I used to have, celebrating small victories has absolutely contributed to being more content every single day. Anyways, these were just a few of the ways I've been embracing simple living and sort of reminders for myself that I don't need to be constantly improving every single day. I hope you found some value from this video, and as always, I appreciate the time you spend here and I appreciate you watching. If you did like this video and you like this type of content, be sure to like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.